Relax, the keyboard is off and the press box is closed, but the mic is just getting warmed up. Welcome to the Hockey Writers Ink, a show where the writer is fresh off the presses and the ink is not dry. Join your host Lance Green, the guardian of the blue paint turned writer, and co-host SteelFlyers, as we bring you all the latest on the Philadelphia Flyers. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Hockey Writers Ink with your host, Lance Green.
All right, guys, how are you?
Oh, man. Lance, I got to tell you, even though we haven't been on the air for a little while and we're really, hey, life happens and a lot of stuff goes on. But during the time off, we were busy beavers, keeping it busy on this end here at SteelFlyers. And wait till y'all see the new look. We've given you guys a little brief preview of some of our new shorts that we've had come out with our Prospect Watch shorts, and then also the Hockey Writers Ink short that we had with our guest Jim Jackson in the last show. So lots of moving and shaking going on here at SteelFlyers All Sports Network, and new look here to the Hockey Writers Ink. So I hope you guys like it. Hope you enjoy it. Please let us know what you guys think down there in the comments. Okay, because it's really important, and we would really like to know what you guys think based off of what you guys say and everything else like that. And really like to know because we had somebody join our new team, join the team here at SteelFlyers to help us out with some of that stuff. You've seen him out on Twitter. He's posting our great stuff. He also posted and set up for us a TikTok account. So go over to TikTok, type in SteelFlyers. You'll be able to see the videos will be posted there as well too. So we're expanding a little bit. We're reaching out a little bit. But yeah, man, we had a really great addition to the group here to help us get things rolling. And big thank you to all you folks out there. Last month on the website was a record month for SteelFlyers.com. 110,000 impressions for 1 month. 2.9 thousand clicks for 1 month. 22.8 thousand visitors. Thank you guys so very much. Thank you out there. We really appreciate it. It's why we do what we do, because you guys are out there. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about, don't we, Lance?
Yeah, let's get into it. I'm excited. It's been a while. I was down and out for a while with the flu and everything else. So excited to get back in the seat here and talk some Flyers hockey. So
exactly, and I think that's exactly what we're going to do here. We're going to approach episode number 156. That's right, episode 156 with a new look. The Hockey Writers Ink is back, and we're talking all things Flyers, of course, as a Philadelphia Flyers centric podcast. Lance Green is the editor-in-chief. And Ron SteelFlyers is me, and we're here to take care of business and bring you all up to speed on where we are at as far as the Philadelphia Flyers. So, I know we haven't talked about it, but I need your impression of the Stadium Series game.
Well, it was interesting to see. Definitely. Thought it was a good one. Even though we took a pretty hard loss in that one, of course, but it was exciting to see the Flyers in it yet again. Of course, this franchise has been lucky enough and has a fan base that will travel to these games.
Well, it wasn't like they had to travel far.
Right. Not too far for this one, thankfully, but I think they would have traveled much farther if their team, had them do it. We travel well here in Philly. If it's the Eagles, the Flyers, the Phils, we travel. So it was good to see them, take on the Devils. The Devils are always a tough opponent, dating back to the time with, Marty Brodeur and Scott Stevens and net and those, treacherous teams of the 90s and early 2000s there. But yeah, it was neat to see, but Tippett had a couple of goals. That was nice. Konechny was moving things. Everything seemed to be working as far as that, but we were just outplayed a little bit, and such is a rebuilding season.
Exactly. And that's kind of where I'm at on that. It's like this was a game that New Jersey is much lower than us in the standings. This was a game that Philadelphia should have had.
Yeah.
All day long, right? The goaltending for New Jersey suspect. This should have been eyes wide. I mean, we should have gotten guys off the schneid on this game, but that just wasn't the case. That wasn't happening. That's not how it turned out. That was not the story for us, for the Flyers for that game. But I do have to tell you, though, I do very much appreciate the fact that the Flyers were in that game. And as far as, having that experience, being in the outdoor game, playing in that, environment, then when they all came out dressed like Rocky, you know
Off
what I
the
mean?
bus, yeah.
Yeah, right. Like, come on, that's classy stuff, right? You know what I'm saying? And so, and man, I got to tell you, our boy Lenny was on point with some great shots of this game, and I just wanted to touch on it a little bit because I know we haven't talked in a little while, and this was one of the games that we really wanted to talk about and really wanted to touch on. It just kind of seemed like the Flyers were just a step off during this game. Did it seem like that to you?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Tortorella usually has this team up and ready to go for games, and they're usually in games for the whole entire 60 minutes. Even the one that was just played right here. We're recording this after the Penguins game just finished, and we were in it to the last minute. And that's been this team's MO all year. We don't give up, and it just seems like we kind of did, or we came out flat and kind of remained there. Didn't we showed sparks at times, but then kind of just dialed out, and it looked like a team from a couple of years ago. You know what I mean? It didn't look like the Flyers team that we've come to know this year.
Yeah.
And be competitive all 60 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Exactly my point, Mr. Lance Green. And that was reflected in what Tortorella said in his press conference, and he was very nonchalant about this game. He was very he said he was more concerned and worried about the game coming up after the New Jersey game. You know what I mean? He was more concerned about the Rangers game, or and I'm just like,
well, I don't think Torts likes the publicity of it all, and I mean it's big for hockey. It's big for the Flyers to be on that main stage there, prime time, outdoor series and stuff like that. But that's not Torts' thing. He doesn't really play up to that, kind of atmosphere. He's worried about the wins and losses, and I think that's more or less what he was trying to say here. He's going to move on, and he's got some tough games. Obviously with the Rangers, like he said, coming up there, they were a tough team at that point. Obviously, all this season. So that is one that you want to circle on the schedule there to be ready for. But you got to play every game. And the Flyers just weren't ready to play that, stadium series.
Exactly. But some great shots from our good buddy Lenny. Had some great shots in that game as far as covering it. for the photographs.
Yeah, I
Man,
thought the ice was pretty spot on.
yeah,
What it looked like. Anybody who played, if you play outside, the conditions can, make the ice really slow. If you got a bunch of leaves and all this other junk and debris sticking into the ice, and bad spots on the ice, creating, turnovers and stuff like that.
exactly.
But I think the NHL and the weather in itself made for some good hockey. It was cold enough that the ice was staying pretty solid as far as can be expected from something that's thrown up in a week's time in the middle of a football field. So. I don't think that played a major part in this, where it has in other Stadium Series games beforehand.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
The rain, the sleet, the snow really affected the ice conditions, and they had to stop multiple times to repair holes and everything else. That wasn't
Or
the case
what?
this year. So,
A couple years ago, when the Flyers played in another special outdoor game where they were in what, Arizona or something out west, or Tahoe.
up in Lake
And
Tahoe with Boston.
yeah, yeah, and the sun was out and reflecting off the water, and it was, melting the ice and was making it, tough conditions. So, but yeah, I like what Al Morganti said. He said that he would love to see the Flyers in one of these every year.
I mean,
You know what I mean?
who wouldn't want to see their team play in one of these every year?
I'm
But
and
you
so
got to spread the wealth. I think Columbus is a franchise that needs some help, and them getting this chance the next year to be in it would be their first. The Flyers have been in multiple ones now since this has been a thing for quite some time now. So it's nice to see a team like the Blue Jackets get a chance, and it's going to be at a pretty big stadium there. So hopefully they can fill it and get maybe some college football fans and different stuff to partake and take up hockey as a new sport they're willing to spend some money to go
yeah,
see.
yeah. The only thing is how they have to, where they have to put the ice as in relation to on the field,
Mm.
because it just seemed like at MetLife they were really far away, like the
Yeah.
fans were really far away, and there are certain other stadiums that are more advantageous to putting ice hockey rinks, and I'm not trying to push for this, although I probably am and would like to. I would love to see one at Beaver Stadium. I would love to see an outdoor game there,
Mm.
because that would also, I believe, set records for attendance, just because of the nature of how big that place is. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and how many people they can fit inside that stadium. And I think it would be really cool to see, like, um, the two Pennsylvania teams.
Well, yeah, I mean, we had that not too many years ago. I attended that game when it was in Philly there. So, they have had that recently. And I don't know. I don't think the Penguins are the Penguins, even though they beat us today to draw a crowd. But who knows? Um, it is what it is. We'll get another chance, I'm sure, to be in another Stadium Series game. But it's always something fun to look forward to every year, for sure. Whoever's in it's a good game to watch. So
Yeah, no, 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 I'm with you. And here's the other thing too that I really enjoy is the uniforms that get to come out, and all the different, designs and things like that. And I thought that the Islander
Rangers
game,
and stuff, yeah.
that game, those uniforms looked really cool. Those jerseys,
Mm.
you know what I mean. And so I'm all for that. I think it's good. The only problem is I'd like to see the Flyers maybe win a few more of these outdoor games, man. It's like, all right, well, we've been in like 10, right? Well, I think we've only won like one.
Mm.
Can we get a win in one of them? Maybe, please. Fingers crossed. You want to keep putting us out there. That's great, but can we get a win in one of them? Jeez, come on, guys. What? Just saying. All right. Here's the thing, though. When you break it all down, including that game, the Flyers are 5-2-1 since the All-Star break. Okay, and their last 10 games are they're 5-4-1, right? So since the All-Star game, the Flyers have been really good. They've gotten points. they've done some winning. They've had, you know what I mean? It's been. I'll take that. Not including the last two games now, right? Not including the last two games. Flyers were 5-2-1.
Yeah, I mean, you had the Maple Leaf game there where it was 4-3 in overtime. That was a good game. Maple Leafs are a very good team.
Yeah.
And got a lot of high scoring offense on that game.
Matthews with a hat trick on that one.
Well, Matthews scores about a hat trick every game. It seems that guy is phenomenal, and if he can keep it up for years to come, he's going to be right up in the
conversation,
upper echelon of elite goal scorers. So that was a tough game. Obviously, the Rangers game was a hard fought one as well, and back-to-back games. After having a hard fought game against a very talented Rangers team this year, who looks very put together. The offense, defense, great goaltending now. He's on top of his game again. But and
then right behind him is Quick.
Yep.
So, like, if you can't deal with Shesterkin, then you got Quick, and you're like, ooh, man, that's the big double whammy.
And the best thing about them is they went out and got the physicality that they needed. We all saw the great fight with Matt Rampy, rookie. If you guys follow me for some time, he's a guy that I wrote about previously in mock drafts.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, yeah.
Yep, came from Seattle Thunderbirds, I think, of the WHL, and big guy.
6'7".
Yep, 6'7". He's saying he's closer to like 6'8" now.
6'9".
Yeah, 6'8.5" or something.
Well,
he's listed. He's a big guy.
He's listed as 6'7".
Yeah. Yeah, he says he's bigger than that now, but. Just a big kid, big physical presence, and that's something that they were lacking, which will probably help them down the playoff push here. They get a big grinding fourth line now that is going to wear you down, just as a little bit different than the way the offensive first two lines of the Rangers wear you down. Everything seems to be clicking for them, and I think the Flyers played a very good game yesterday. Considering they lost, it was 2-1, but I mean, you look at what the Rangers have been doing to not only us this season, but other teams as well.
Yeah,
I thought they came out and played really hard yesterday, and to come back today and play a very hard fought, high scoring game.
What goaltending
against the Penguins? I thought, even though they lost both games, they really, really fought hard. And, what a couple of games for Mr. Tyson Forster. He seems to be getting going. He had a goal against the Rangers, and then two today? Two and an assist, 3 points today against the Penguins. He's finding his shot. He's finding his areas.
Yeah.
His teammates are finding him. So that's something that we can look, up and up here with a couple of losses. You can look at, the development of some younger players like this guy that is a phenomenal scorer in juniors and everything else. And now he seems to be getting going. And, it's going to be exciting to see him moving forward for sure.
About the Rangers, Lafreniere now his 17th and 18th goal during that game as
Yeah.
well. Do you know what I mean? So he's another big reason why the Rangers, I think, have started to, kind of. I mean, they're at the top of the division. They're, you know what I mean.
Mm.
They may not be the best team per se in
Right.
the East, but they sure are playing like they are. And when you get a kid like Lafreniere who finally starts to settle in and start getting going, along with, Fox and the rest of the gang there, Kreider and all them guys there in New York, Zibanejad and when you get all that rolling, and then you have the goaltending, just like Lance said, that's going to be a tough team to beat. And for the Flyers to do what they did, I think that's admirable. I thought that was although it's a loss. And just like you said, these last two games they fought well, but these are 4 points that are much needed.
Yep.
Because, those teams either are ahead of us or behind us in the standings. And when you drop a game, like that, or two games like that, that's a 4-point swing. And now suddenly, you gave opposition those 2 points instead of you taking them. So you need them 2 points.
Well,
It's great that you are able to take care of business against the Arizonas and that kind of stuff, but you need to win some of these kind of games here too. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, you can expect a loss and then a hard-fought loss to the Rangers. I can take that on the chin,
Yeah.
because they played with them. The Rangers are a very strong team. Lafreniere, like you said, has been getting going this season. He's a guy that I wrote about earlier this season, I believe, as well, right or before this season started, because he was kind of down and out as far as the
they weren't
Rangers
going to
were
sign him for
not
sure or
really.
whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they weren't really high on him. We're he's still 22 years old, and he was a number one overall pick, and they were just kind of down and out and not really wanting to sign him. And I you know,
Come to Philly. Hey, come to
pleaded the,
Philly.
the Flyers to make that kind of trade for this
Yeah.
kid. And, even if you gave up a first round pick for this kid, the Rangers just weren't utilizing him right. They seem to be doing that this year, moving him up where he belongs a little bit more.
Well, Peter Laviolette, I think, is more of the reason why
Yeah.
they're using him more efficiently or in a more better role now because of Laviolette.
Well, there's a reason why he's the, pretty much all-time American-born coach, winning wise, record-wise. So Laviolette knows what he's doing, and he's kind of found Lafreniere a niche in the offense, and now he's already has more goals already this season than he did last season. So kudos to him, but like you were saying, you you can't lose games if you're going to be a playoff team like the Flyers think they're going to be. As time goes by and they continue to hold on to that third spot in the Metro Division, you can't lose games like you did today against a team that is well below you in the standings. And, like you said, with the Devils and the Penguins, these are games that we should not be losing. We should be winning these games. And that's the big picture here. And it's kind of hard to swallow when, of course, we lost Carter Hart and, he's all but gone, and the team's pretty much, moved him to the side and moved on, right? Ersson's now forced into a number one role, and he looks good. He's got the most wins and games played of any rookie goaltender in the NHL, and it's going to be a lot to ask of him to carry on the rest of the season as a number one goaltender. But when you get this kind of lack of goaltending from Cal Peterson, the Flyers scored 6 goals today. That should be enough goals to win 2 games, right?
Easily, yeah.
You should be able to, you should think 3-4 goals. If you score that, you in the NHL, you should have a pretty good chance of winning the game. And for him to let in 7 goals today, a save percentage of .781, it's not good, man. It's not good. You need more from a backup goaltender, and the Flyers simply don't have that. With the unexpected departure of Carter Hart, and it's something that I think they're going to need to address this season. It's debatable.
Well, yeah.
They're rebuilding, yes, but if they're going to be a playoff team and want to have these young guys like your Foresters and all that, and your Cam Yorks and everybody experience a little playoff hockey this year, you're going to need to go out and find somebody. It doesn't need to be somebody that you're going to be willing to, move multiple first round picks for. You have people developing in the system you don't want to block, but at the same time, you're going to need to protect Ersson and get somebody that is capable of being a decent NHL backup, at least for a season or two, and and to support him and give him, allow him to have the nights off that he needs to, because you don't want to have, to push him too far and have another Steve Mason or somebody like that with talent that you rush because you don't have anybody else. So I think it's something that they're going to need to address this season. I know they're rebuilding, but if for nothing else, you need to protect your asset in Sam Ersson.
Yeah, and that's something that we're going to talk about here in a couple shows down the road here as we get a little closer to the trade deadline, which is coming up here March 8th. You know what I mean? So that's after next week. So I like what you did touch on the fight with that was a great fight. That's just something you don't see every day. And a rookie doing a 21-year-old going up against Nick, who is a seasoned fighter, clearly, and the kid did all right. I mean,
he did better than all right. Yeah. I mean, he might have actually won that one. Nick took his leg out to end the fight, but Delorier had some pretty substantial, contusions on his face.
Yeah.
And, even though they both landed their shots, Nick was, he went over to him before the game and, congratulated him on making the NHL and, offered, the chance to go with him if Rampy was up for it. And of course, Matt said yes. And, that was a classic gentleman fight. Both teams, both guys wanted to get their teams energy ramped up and their fans energy ramped up for the game and get that momentum early on. And, I think both were successful in that with that bout.
I agree.
Both guys stood in there and threw some haymakers and landed plenty of them. And, no hard feelings, went to the bench and, and
see you next shift.
Sat down 5 minutes and, and that's what it is.
See you next shift.
I think Delorier actually told Matt that he had a longer reach than Chara. When he fought Chara, he thought he was tough getting in there to land punches, but this kid actually had a little bit longer reach than Chara from Nick's memory. So, that's saying something. This kid's got length and speed and youth on his side. So that was a great.
He's got some hands. He can score. Sure. I mean, the kid did really well. I mean, if he continues to play like that, he's going to go a long way in the NHL. You know what I mean? And so, but I'm with you on that. It's one of those things where now, with some of the injuries coming along now, with Drysdale getting out tonight, and also the shot that Tyson Forster took on the top of his leg as well. He just came back from missing 4 games. Tyson Forster, just came back now. This was his second game back from missing 4. Now he looks like he might miss some more. They're also saying that Ristolainen is going to probably be a more longer term situation as far as him being out. So I mean, I think that's going to change the dynamic of what the Flyers are going to be doing come trade deadline because well, you got these guys that are hurt. You if you want to try to move Ristolainen, you're not going to really be able to move Ristolainen if he's hurt, especially if he's on LTIR. You know what I
Right.
mean? You're not going to be able to move him, and now you have to keep guys on your team now that maybe you were considering to move or trade because of these injuries. Now, if you want to still continue to be, third place in the Metro and try to do anything this year, that's going to be the tough decision here, and this is what I'm going to be interested to see how this new administration with the new Briera and Jonesy with hockey ops president, and I want to see what these guys are going to do now because this is where the rubber meets the road. This is where the flesh meets the bone here because these are the decisions that you're going to have to make. I got some guys injured. They may or may not make it back before the end of the year. They may or may, you know what I mean? We may or may not make it to the playoffs. And then, you know what I mean? They keep saying the right things, though. They keep saying, we're building for the future. We're building for the future. We're trying to make this team, not just competitive this year, but we want this team to be competitive in the years to come. So they're saying all the right things, but it's going to be tough now with these injuries.
It definitely complicates things for sure. You want to possibly move your Sean Walkers, and your Nick Sealers, but now that Drysdale may be out for a while, it complicates that. Moving somebody like that, Ristolainen being out injured, and on top of that, like I would be comfortable per se, and I really want to see them traded anyway and get those assets because, like you said, you're rebuilding for years down the road still. 2-3 years down the road, they want to be cup contenders, true cup contenders. It would be nice to make the playoffs this year, but that's not really their goal. So, I want to see the Zumalas come in. I would be okay with trading, a Sean Walker still, despite the injuries that they have on the roster, and let a Zumala play, and maybe bring up a Helge Grans or somebody like that who has seen
or Ronnie Attard or somebody.
Has seen the time in the AHL, is developing, and give those guys some chances here. And that's maybe not what you want to do, being that if you were normally in a third place in a division, but the Flyers aren't really pushing for this year, and they want to continue to change this roster to help build for the future. So I wouldn't let that hinder what my plan was. They have the guys in the system. In Jennings, I think he could come up and play as well. He's a big physical defenseman as well to replace that kind of Sean Walker or Nick Sealer. It's tough. You don't want to lose a guy like Nick Sealer. You might want to bring him back, but at the same time, is Nick Sealer going to be the guy that is eventually going to win you a Stanley Cup? And probably not, right?
Yeah.
So if you can get something for him, you got to take a couple losses here, and that might sting a little bit in order to better the team for the future still. And that's going to be the tough decisions that Briere and Keith are just going to have to bite the bullet on and go ahead and make those moves that may hurt in the present time, but then help out, if they can garner a second round pick for somebody like that or anything, for the future, and get your Oliver Bonks and stuff like that, and continue to build that team for this 2 or 3 years from now is the real, contending team, it looks like. So
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. And see, I think that's the thing. That's going to be the hard pill to swallow here. I think with fans is the fact that it's great watching this team now, and they're winning games, and they're at a point now where their power play, or I'm sorry, their penalty kill is one of the tops in the league. They have some of the league leading shorthanded goals. They're more dangerous on the penalty kill than they are on the power play.
yeah,
The fact that Tortorella has made it so it's tough to play against this team. They're not quite there yet at home. It's still a tough team to play against Philadelphia, but it needs to be a little bit more tougher at home than it is on the road. You know what I mean? And he admittedly said that in the press conference too. He's like, we need to be better, at home. We need to be playing better at home, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, all right, okay, I get it. But here's the thing, though. This power play is really
horrible.
It's hurting this team. Okay? There have been multiple times in the last 10 games, in the last, what are we at now? We're at 56 games now they've played. And the last 56 games, there's been power play opportunities for this team to take leads, tie games. You know what I'm saying? You get a power play late in the game, that's a chance. I don't get it. The fact that we're still...
we talked about it and beat that dead horse. And I wrote articles on it and everything like that. The team just fails to address this. And it's really showing, as a problem. And hopefully they weigh their options at the end of the season and find a better option. Because I mean, this ain't it.
This can't be.
This can't be.
Expect.
Not when you got guys like a Forrester and now you got a Jamie Drysdale and you got Farabee and some players that can put the puck in the net, and it's just crazy to see somebody why can't you get a guy like Cam Atkinson going. He's just been non-existent out there. He's too talented a player. He skates too well not to be scoring. And this is the power play is where he should be shining. A guy that is very elusive on the ice and can skate and has speed.
Shot.
Has a good shot. Facing a team that's a man down is where he should be, excelling in that sense, and he's simply not. So there's big questions there on the power play still. Of course, that's been a problem for years now, and they seem to replace one fighter with another, and a guy who's never been on a PP in his entire life. Never scored a goal in the NHL running the power play. I just don't get it. I'm not saying we should go out and hire Wayne Gretzky to, be on the power play, but to run the power play. But it's just, there's got to be somebody better out there. And, this guy just ain't it.
Can we get a guy who's at least got 50 power play goals in his career, in his NHL career? Has maybe played more than 24 games in the NHL? Actually, have been on the power play once or twice?
Yeah, they had the chance to get Mark Recchi. And, that's nepotism at its finest. It sounds like it if they brought him in. But, he is one of the all-time great power play players of all time, and some of the most goals scored on a power play. But they didn't do that. They let Columbus get him. And I don't know. There's options out there, but they're just not. They're just sitting on their hands in that aspect, and it needs to be addressed this offseason. If you don't do anything this year, that's fine. but it needs to be addressed this offseason. We can't go into the next season with Rocky Thompson as a power play coach. I'm sorry.
And the power play being scraping the bottom of the barrel here with
yet again
Chicago.
for the third, fourth season in a row. Something needs to be done.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So Lance, I gotta ask. I know it's been a little minute. Now that you're a little bit clearer headed,
yeah.
You got anything in the works?
Yeah, I've been kicking around some ideas. I have tomorrow off. So I plan to do nothing but sit in front of this laptop and get out some ideas and some thoughts that have been in my head, and hopefully put them to something that is worthwhile reading. So we'll see. We'll see what comes out. Who knows? But hopefully we should have an article out in the next couple of days. A Flyers article for sure.
I think we'll be more than chomping at the bit for one from the Mr. Lance Green, for sure. So that's great, man. And I'll tell you what, man, I really appreciate all that you do, Lance. Your articles get a lot of hits on the website, and it's amazing to see how the articles just get out there, and then they just grow and grow and grow. And thank you for just all that you do, man. I really appreciate it. That we wouldn't be able to be here if it wouldn't be for what you do, Lance. So,
well, I appreciate the outlet, the ability to post the articles and let everybody read them. And, of course, thank you to all the fans and stuff out there that follow this show, as well as, read all my articles. I love the feedback, and, look forward to conversations. If you like the article, if you don't, if you agree, disagree, I like all of it. You know what I mean? Good hockey talk is something that I enjoy. So if you're an intelligent fan and you want to speak your mind, and I'm out there on Twitter or X or whatever, and Facebook groups for the Flyers, and wherever you see the article posted, wherever you click the link, if you want to talk some hockey, I'm gonna reply and appreciate the read. So
awesome, man, for sure. And you can check Lance out on the X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it, at Lance Green 39. So be sure to check him out. And he's on all the a lot of the Flyers Facebook groups too. So you got to check him out there too. Now, you can also follow the Hockey Writers Ink as well on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. HCKY Writers Inc. And you can also follow me at SteelFlyers 52 as well. And I'll tell you what, big thank you to Spreaker for all your help in getting us out to all the platforms out there. Big thank you to all you folks out there for all your likes, all your listens. Big thanks to Frame, who is now one of our new video editors, who's been putting the shorts out for us. Man, the guy is just really talented. Would love to hear what you guys think about these great little shorts that we're putting out for you guys. Oh, and also check this out, right? If you are the 500th follower on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, you get a free t-shirt. Please go to Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it and click on SteelFlyers 52 and follow or follow the Hockey Writers Inc. And whoever gets to be the 500th follower gets a free t-shirt. You can either get a Hockey Writers Inc. t-shirt or you can get a SteelFlyers.com web shirt. By the way, go to the website, SteelFlyers.com. Check out the show at SteelFlyers.com/link/Hockey Writers Inc. And you can also check out all of Lance's articles at SteelFlyers.com. Thank you all very much for checking us out. We will catch you all on the next episode of the Hockey Writers Inc.